virtual orientation on Homeroom Guidance Program with the theme Usapang Gabay, a virtual online orientation on revised implementation of homeroom guidance during crisis situation for school year 2021-2022. I am Ms. Lara Pigodoy of the Senior High School Department, and I am your moderator for today. The Homeroom Guidance Program is not new to us, since we already had this last school year 2020-2021, wherein our learners received modules which made them appreciate and value more the things that they have, and most especially promote their holistic development. Since it was its first implementation, there were still gray areas which need to be polished, and that will be the focus of today's orientation. So without further ado, let's get started. May I invite everyone to be with us as we sing the Philippine National Anthem, followed by the opening prayer.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisingil. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw, may dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng luwalhating pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. Ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock, it shall be opened, the goodness of the Lord. For the one who asks receives, the one who seeks shall find, the one who knocks will enter and see the face of God. Come to me, all ye weary, I my pearl and light. See the birds in the sky, they neither sow nor reap, and still our God cares for them. Will not the Lord care for you? See the lilies of the field, they do not work or sleep. If they are clothed in splendor, God will provide for you. Come to me, all weary. I will refresh you. Learn from me. My yoke is easy, my burden light. Do not worry about your life, what to eat or wear. Is not your life for greater things? Is not your life for the Lord? Seek the one who knows your need, and all things will be yours. Worry not of tomorrow, let tomorrow find its way. Come to me, all weary. I will refresh you. Learn from me. My yoke is easy, my burden light.
Everyone. Once again, hello. Have you already logged and tuned in? If not yet, please grab your phone or laptops now and be with us. And we suppose that at this moment, everyone is already here or is starting to tune in already. To prove it right, let us have the checking of attendance. Are the teachers coming from the ESP department already here? Well, if yes, you may place your comment down below. How about the teachers from the science department? How about MAPE department? Araling Panlipunan department? Mathematics department? TLE department, are you here with us? How about the English department? Filipino department? And senior high school department? Wow, it appears that everyone is already with us. Virtually, of course. Now, moving on, let us hear a welcome message from our dearest school head, Dr. Sulpicio C. Alvarez III.
Good morning to each and every one of us. And of course, good morning to all the advisors present in this activity. It is good to note that today or this morning, we'll be having this kind of activity wherein you will be oriented being an advisor with that of especially along homeroom guidance activities. My dear teachers, take note that we teachers are one of the most influential person in the lives of our learners. You will actually see that you can actually listen to several stories telling us, informing us that indeed, we teachers has a great part in the upbringing of our learners. Kaya kung makikita ninyo, sabi nga ng mga magulang, minsan si teacher pa ang mas, sabi niyan, sinusunod ng ating mga estudyante kaysa sa mga magulang. Tama naman, because kahit na nga ang most of their time ay nasa bahay, pero tayo yung mas nagsasabi kung ano ang dapat nilang gawin. But this time in the along homeroom guidance, the focus is not on the subject matter, not more on the curriculum or the curricula that we are imparting to them, but rather this is the part wherein ourselves is being introduced to our learners. Sabi niyan, most of the time, lalong-lalo na pag homecoming, it is not actually the lesson that we impart, that we facilitated to them. Rather, it is, or most of the time, it is our ways of loving them, it is our way of caring for them that matters so much to these learners. That is why even in their high school high school moments, we are really has that more part sa kanilang growth. Ano? Kaya kung makikita nyo, pinag-uusapan during tawag nito? During alumni homecoming, ay yung paano mag-dress si ma'am, paano mag-dress si sir, paano siya magsalita, paano siya makipaghalubilo sa klase. And this is the part na pag-uusapan natin when it comes to the homeroom guidance. Good enough because ngayon, may modules na din sa homeroom guidance natin. So, hindi na tayo mahirapan. I remember, during my first 5 or first 10 years ko in the service, ganun din, naghahagilap kung ano ba yung dapat na pag-usapan sa homeroom guidance. Pero ngayon, meron na ding module, meron na ding mga topics, so ang kailangan na lang natin ay ibigay sa mga estudyante. And lalong-lalo na ngayon na nasa pandemya tayo, ang hirap kaya. Ano? But then, as we schedule that Friday na walang distribution, that will be the time that the homeroom guidance should enter as part kang lesson nila. I remember during my elementary days, this guidance part or guidance program, pumapasok ito doon sa GMRC. Yung mga kaedad ko dyan, I think you still know this. Good manners and right conduct. Ano? So dito natin itinuturo or ipinapaalam yung mga mabubuting kaugalian. Likewise, with our homeroom guidance, the topics are varied, but the topics are so personal, so direct to our learners. That is why you sit back and then listen to the speakers, especially the guidance counselor, who will be giving their share on how we are going to impart, to share, to facilitate the lessons to be taken up during this homeroom guidance period. So to all of you, to all the advisors out there, please take note of those important things, important matters, notations that our speaker or discussant will be giving to you this morning. Again, to each and everyone, maray na aga, asin maray na aldaw sa tuya agabos.
Sir Jojo, for the usual guidance and incredible support as we conduct activities like this. To proceed, let us have the rationale of our program for today. Guidance during crisis situation for school year 2021-2022, Homeroom Guidance Program is in support of the goal of the Department of Education to produce holistically developed Filipinos who are able to understand themselves, have problem-solving skills, make informed decisions, achieve academic success, plan for their future, and respect individual differences. It envisions learners who can work for the common good of society and love for our country while upholding the rights and responsibilities of global citizens. This virtual orientation shall give a review and update, and of course to update all concerned individuals of the implementation of homeroom guidance for the school year 2021-2022. This activity also aims to address issues and concerns in the past school year 2020-2021. Furthermore, this is also done to identify and employ good practices to facilitate efficient and effective implementation. So that is the rationale of our homeroom guidance orientation today. Now, moving on, let us listen and learn about the revised implementation of the homeroom guidance program during crisis situation for school year 2021-2022. Technical team, take it away.
Implementation of homeroom guidance for school year 2021-2022. This is based on DMOUCI 2021, number 346. So to obtain the vision of the homeroom guidance, this document serves to guide the schools in implementing the program properly to support the learner's development, providing systematic process in the overall conduct of homeroom guidance, organizing resources needed in the program such as budget, manpower, facilities, learning materials, and other logistical needs, and articulating the scope and limits of the program, including its monitoring and evaluation. So as you can see, this is not entirely a new program, no? As a matter of fact, kanina, yung sa presentation ni Mr. Mark Bercando, nakita natin kung saan siya nanggaling, ano? Kung ano yung pinanggalingan ng program since noong time na nasa ano pa siya, revitalized homeroom guidance pa lang siya, hanggang ngayon na tinatawag na natin siyang homeroom guidance, no? So let me start with a definition of terms, no? What is homeroom guidance? So in our DM, homeroom guidance is a comprehensive, developmental, and proactive program designed to equip K-12 learners with life skills on 3 domains: academic development, personal and social development, and career development. So ano ba yung academic development domain, no? Academic development domain pertains to all academic-related needs or concerns of learners. This serves as a guide to implement strategies and activities to support and maximize each learner's ability to learn, which include, but not limited to, creative and critical thinking, communication skills, and problem-solving skills. Also in the definition, we define personal and social development domain. Ito yung pinakamaraming module as of now because this is a homeroom guidance during crisis situation. Sabi nga kanina sa presentation ni Sir Mark, dito tayo nagtuon ngayon ngayong taon na ito sa personal and social development domain. So this pertains to concerns or issues affecting learners' individuality, relationship with others, and their interaction in community. It equips the learners with foundation for personal and social growth as they progress through school and into adulthood. This includes, but not limited to, intrapersonal and interpersonal skills, self-awareness, coping with emotions and stress, and resilience, which we think is very much critical these days, no? Marami pong possible source of stressors sa ating mga kabataan ngayon at isa ito sa mga life skills na kakailanganin nilang ma-develop, no, along the way, no, kasama ng kanilang pag-aaral ng mga academic subjects. Another thing that we really see as very important now is the career development domain. So this pertains to all occupational and world of work related concerns and issues of learners. This involves the acquisition of skills, attitudes, and knowledge that enable them to make successful transition from school to the world of work and from job to job across the lifespan. This includes, but not limited to, learners' discovery of their interests, talents and skills, decision-making, problem-solving, planning, and in exploring their career options and opportunities. Also, in this particular DepEd memorandum, we defined portfolio as a collection of learners' works showing his or her progress in terms of the 3 domains. So this may include journals, reflection papers, reaction papers, and activity outputs based on self-learning modules. So you will see may mga required tayo na task, no? May required tayo ng mga output, and we put that, or we gather that in a portfolio. And then performance task focuses on the completion and submission of self-learning modules or activities that show mastery of competencies and standards. We also defined who are the class advisors. So this refers to the teacher facilitator in charge of a class and those guidance designate. This refers to teachers who are officially designated by the school head or school's division superintendent or regional director to perform duties related to the implementation of guidance services, excluding counseling. No? So we are all familiar with RA 9258, and as guidance designates, we are only limited to perform tasks na hindi po papunta sa counseling. Ano? Meron pa po tayong ibang task. Base rin kanina sa binanggit ni Sir Mark, may iba't iba po tayong guidance services at ang maaari lamang na magawa, yung lahat ng 8, pwera lamang po yung counseling. No? So what's new about this DM, no? So karamihan ng bago, yung mga new provisions natin ay nailagay sa ating procedure, no? First and foremost, number 1, sa nomenclature, homeroom guidance shall be reflected in the class program of every school and other school documents such as SF9 or the Form 138, the report card, and SF10, Form 137, or the permanent student record as homeroom guidance. However, its details, that is in the learner's assessment tool, Annex 5, shall be attached to SF9 and SF10 whenever being issued to requesting party. So let me just be clear about this. Last year, in our first round or implementation, ang sabi natin, the learner's assessment tool should be attached to the Form 138. However, after our evaluation, we actually asked the regional supervisors, regional representatives, division representatives, and school representatives to give us feedback tungkol dito. At isa sa mga nakita nilang very, very important ay yung maisama na sa mismong report card as SF9 at sa SF10, yung Form 137, yung homeroom guidance mismo, para hindi po siya basta-basta mawawala. Yung details po niyan mamaya ibibigay ko sa ating mga forms and annexes para malaman ninyo kung paano siya isusulat, no? And then number 2, homeroom guidance shall not be viewed as a formal learning area like edukasyon sa pagpapakatao and the like. It shall be treated as a program that will help learners develop the competencies needed in 3 domains. Hence, its delivery in class is quite informal, but still follows the structured learning experience flow. No? So for those of you who are familiar with the content of the SLM, makikita din ninyo na ang sinusunod natin yung structured learning experience flow. In the version of the modules in 2019, it was really intended na maisulat o maisagawa siya sa loob ng classroom, yung may activity. But because of the pandemic, we transformed this this structured learning experiences or the modules that was developed in 2019 into an SLM or the self-learning modules. So yun po yung isa sa mga dahilan bakit hindi po siya naibaba ng isang bigayan yung lahat ng learning modules natin, because along the way kinakailangan po natin siyang i-revise into an SLM para po matugunan yung pangangailangan natin during the pandemic o yung pangangailangan ng learners during the pandemic. No? Ayan. And then number 3, class advisor shall be assigned to implement the program with the technical assistance of the guidance counselor. Not have a guidance counselor, the school head may assign a guidance designate, but he or she should be provided with proper training specific to the implementation of homeroom guidance. So, kagaya nga nung binanggit ko kanina, we recognize that our guidance designate can function or can perform duties in relation to homeroom guidance because this is an information, the information side or the information services of the guidance and counseling services, no? According din yan kanina dun sa presentation ni Sir Mark. So dito, makikita natin, we need to provide our class advisors, our teachers, with technical assistance. So sa division level later, makikita natin who's in charge of giving the capacity building to our guidance designates sa school, or who's in charge of giving further training sa ating mga division guidance designates, no? Later on, we will discuss that. And then number 4, teaching load. So teaching homeroom guidance shall be equivalent to 1 teaching load on top of the teacher's advisory and subjects load. Number 5, class program. So ilang beses ba siya sa isang linggo? The homeroom guidance shall be scheduled once a week. In relation to time allotment, please take note that for kindergarten, the homeroom guidance is included in the blocks of time, while for grades 1 to 12, it is designed for 60 minutes, no? So dito makikita natin ang modules po ay 60 minutes or the SLMs. It was designed for SLM. So therefore, most probably some of the activities will be expected to be finished or to be accomplished. Parang siguro yung kung ilang minuto yung pwede pa nilang i-google sa labas mismo, no? May mga activities kasi doon nakakailanganin nila ng extra time. So we recognize that also and we allow that, no? And then we also take in consideration the learning modality. So the homeroom guidance shall be delivered in different learning modalities depending on the needs of the learner and the school's capability, no? So we understand since this will be used from Luzon to Mindanao, ayan, yung ating flexibility din, relation sa learning modality, ay dapat nating bigyang pansin, no? Hindi naman tayo magiging stricto pagdating dito sa ating SLMs. Maaring yung SLMs natin ay i-tailor fit din natin doon sa kung ano yung existing na learning modality yung meron yung school, no? So kung halimbawa hindi naman sila modular, online learning, so ano yung pwede nating gawin to distribute the SLMs? So pwedeng i-distribute using soft copies, pwede din po yan na i-distribute as pictures sa messenger, maaari rin po yung ma-distribute in different forms, no? Ang importante lang, ma-recognize natin kung paano siya i-fit doon sa kanilang learning modality o doon sa learners' learning modality. And then learning materials, the homeroom guidance self-learning modules will be issued by the Department of Education through the Bureau of Learning Resources. This will be posted in the DepEd Learning Resource portal. No? So in relation to this, we are all aware that nagkaroon tayo ng concern, nagkaroon tayo ng problem doon sa first year natin because yung pag-issue ng modules ay medyo natagalan, no? Because of some technical issues or the technicalities na kailangan pagdaanan ng mga self-learning modules, no? Rest assured that for this school year, we have the first and second quarter learning materials available in the Learning Resource portal. And I'm happy to say that most of the divisions were able to download it and the learning materials are now in their division learning portals, no? However, for the third and fourth quarter, we are trying our best to provide that before the opening of the school year, no? So we will keep you posted in relation to the third and fourth quarter learning materials. Maybe some of you will have some questions. What if nakagawa na kami or create na yung division, no? Ng learning materials dahil walang ginamit nung nakaraan? Can we still use the learning materials that we develop for the third and fourth quarter? The answer is yes, no? Basta, ang magiging ano lang natin dito, yung pananagutan, no, doon sa mga learning materials na na-develop. Hindi po natin siya, halimbawa, may mga hindi na quality assure ng maayos, hindi po yun kayang panagutan ng central office. Kinakailangan po na kayo yung mananagot or magiging responsible doon. So we have to ensure that all learning materials, ayan po, ay talagang na quality assure once we use it for the homeroom guidance. Also in other subjects, gano'n naman po yung ating magiging agreement doon, no? And we also need to make use or utilize the most essential learning competencies. Doon po tayo magkakaroon ng paglilinaw o doon sa, yun po yung gauge natin, kung tama ba yung direction o yung content natin sa learning materials, no? Okay. Next, number 9, the medium of instruction. So the self-learning modules are written in English, but the regions may opt to translate the learning material in their mother tongue or any language convenient to the learners to ensure participation and interaction during the session and better understanding of the concepts. Hindi po na isama dito, pero makakatulong din ito upang mas matulungan din sila ng kanilang mga magulang kung nakasulat siya or nakatranslate siya sa mother tongue. Baka mas mai-explain o maipaliwanag ng magulang ang kahulugan o yung mga activities o mga gawain na nakapaloob sa ating SLMs, sa ating mga mag-aaral. This will also be helpful to those who cannot read yet, lalong-lalo na dito sa ating kindergarten to grade 3. If the learning materials will be translated to mother tongue. Mas maganda po iyon para mas matulungan natin ang ating bawat learners. And then number 10, collaboration with the family and community is also encouraged in order to create a venue for the learners in developing such life skills. So parents may refer to the gabay sa magulang found in the SLM in order to guide their children in accomplishing the activities, no? So we also encourage schools to hold orientations for our parents para inform din po sila or homeroom guidance program pa siya. That was long doon sa kawalan ng orientasyon o ng orientation natin. Maraming nagsasabi sa regional level na sila ay nagbigay ng orientation. Pagdating sa division, pagdating sa school, we found out na hindi nagtutugma. Maaring ilan lamang doon sa school yung na-orient or ilan lamang divisions yung na-orient, no? So iiwasan na natin yan for this school year para lahat tayo ay magkaroon ng proper orientation about the program. Why? May impact kasi ito. Nangyayari kasi maraming nagbibigay ng komento tungkol sa kanyang efficiency, tungkol sa homeroom guidance. Pero kapag tinanong mo, ano po ba ang alam niyo about homeroom guidance, nandun pa rin sila sa kanilang ideya noong revitalized homeroom guidance program pa siya. That was long time ago. 1980s pa siya na idea. So ito ngayon, sinusubukan natin na through this orientation program under the homeroom guidance, makikita na lahat ng layer, okay? So lahat ng stakeholders natin from the school hanggang sa national ay magkakaroon tayo ng proper orientation about the program, no? So yun po yung target natin. And it need not be on these specific dates. There are regions and divisions na maaaring magkaroon ng adjustment. Ang hiling ko lamang po, wag nating palipasin yung the first week of school year 2021-2022 na lumipas nang hindi tayo nakakapag-orient. Dahil ang magiging reaction ulit dito kapag hindi po natin natapos yung orientation, hindi ulit nakarating sa parents and learners, iisipin na naman nila na this is an additional burden o ano lang siya, parang dagdag lamang siya doon sa 8 subjects. Wherein, malinaw naman kanina, malinaw din sa atin na ito ang ating mental health tool or ang mental health program. Ina-align din natin siya as a mental health program dahil wala naman silang access ngayon sa guidance office. Wala rin silang access ngayon doon sa ibang guidance services. Ito lang siya at napakaliit na porsyento lamang siya nung kabuuan ng guidance services na mayroon tayo, no? So in order for us, actually this is preventive and educative in nature eh. Hindi po natin na pipilitin na gawin ito ng wala lamang saysay. Definitely, ang saysay nito, ang importansya nito ay hindi naman para sa atin sa Department of Education lang. We are also thinking of them, our learners. Magbubukas po ito ng maraming pag-uusap sa loob ng tahanan and at the same time, magbubukas din siya ng maraming maaring pag-isipan ng bata, no? Maliban doon sa iba pang mga bagay na sa palagay ko hindi po ganoon kaimportante sa mga panahong ito. Halimbawa po, may ilan tayong mga kabataan na nakakaroon ng excessive na pag-aalala, okay? Sobra-sobrang pag-aalala o nakakaroon sila ng mga yung mga iniisip po nila ay hindi na nandito sa realidad, no? May pandemic na plus hindi pa nag-uusap sa loob ng bahay, hindi rin sila nakakaroon ng pagkakataon na makapagtanong sa kanilang mga adult, yung mga significant adults sa buhay nila. That's why, saan sila nagre-resort, no? We need to consider that. At hindi lamang po ito academics, hindi lamang po ito basta pagsagot lamang ng modules. We are also looking into how we can provide them with assistance. In-open natin yung ating channels ng communication with them, and at the same time, we give them lessons, okay? We give them lessons on how they are going to face some of the challenges, or at least, hindi ganun kalaki yung impact ng mga challenges na nararanasan nila. Okay? So number 12, Learners Development Assessment Tool. So the homeroom guidance assessment results shall be distributed and discussed by the class advisor during the parent-teacher conference. So this shall be issued as an attachment to the learner's report card. No? Later on, I will explain paano siya appear sa ating learner's report card at paano rin siya nire-rate or paano natin binibigyan ng sort of grade pero hindi naman siya talaga academic grade. We are also basing it on our observation, no? So mamaya i-discuss ko po lahat yan. And then the DepEd school shall include all expenses relative to homeroom guidance in their annual implementation plan and school improvement plan. So we also have to take note that non-implementation or improper implementation of homeroom guidance shall be subject to existing applicable administrative actions. No? So paano ba natin masasabi na non-implementation? Madali po yung non-implementation eh, yung hindi talaga mag-i-implement, no? And then yung improper implementation, ito yung halimbawa sinabi natin na ito yung dapat gawin tapos hindi pa rin nakasunod. So maaring may mga reason behind doon sa hindi pagsunod or hindi pag-comply, no? Pero maari din po sana naming malaman ito. That's why we have the monitoring and assessment tool later, no? I will discuss kung paano po siya natin titingnan ng isa-isa. Okay. Now we move forward to the roles and responsibilities of DepEd offices. So we start in the school, no? So who leads this the homeroom guidance in the school? So the school head supervises and monitors the implementation of homeroom guidance and ensures that proper intervention for each learner will be provided. Specifically, the school head shall ensure the following. Letter A, So the self-learning or will be ilan lang orient dahil maliban doon school improvement plan. C, allocating budget for homeroom guidance. Ano naming malaman ito? Start in the school, no? So who leads this the homeroom guidance in the school? So the school head supervises and monitors the implementation of homeroom guidance and ensures that proper intervention for each learner will be provided. Specifically, the school head shall ensure the following. Letter A, planning for the annual homeroom guidance implementation and monitoring, preparing of timelines or calendar of activities, monitoring plan for the entire duration of the program, and inclusion of homeroom guidance in the school forms. C, allocating budget for homeroom guidance that is included in the school improvement plan or the SIP, and annual annual implementation plan or the AIP. And then adhering to the stipulated loading of teachers and class programming for school year 2021-2022. Providing the necessary equipment. So maari po yung computer, printer, photocopier, risograph, etc., and supplies, printing materials, office supplies, etc. No? And then strengthening partnership with stakeholders. We know dito sa stakeholders na to kasama dyan ng parents, kasama dyan yung other partners ng school. And then orienting the teachers, parents, learners, and other stakeholders, creating mechanisms that would ensure efficient distribution and retrieval of homeroom guidance modules and outputs, and then preparing and conducting of homeroom guidance class observation, and submitting the homeroom guidance school implementation report or the Annex 2. So also in school, we have our guidance counselor or our guidance designate who serves as the program manager and ensures the correct content and pedagogy of homeroom guidance in school. So specifically, the guidance counselor or guidance designate shall ensure the following. Letter A, assist the school head in the planning for the annual HG implementation and monitoring, prepare the annual budget proposal on homeroom guidance implementation, conduct the orientation of teachers, parents, learners, and other stakeholders, coordinate with the class advisors on the implementation of homeroom guidance, and provide technical assistance to class advisors and other guidance services or interventions to learners without violating the provisions stipulated in the RA 9258, the Guidance Counseling Act of 2004. So malinaw po dyan that the guidance counselor or the guidance designate shall serve as the program manager. So kailangan po nilang i-assist ang ating school heads sa ating implementation, no? If you're going to ask me, ilan bang guidance designate? Halimbawa, walang guidance counselor. Ilang guidance designate po ba ang kakailanganin, no? Yan po ay magdedepende na sa decision ng ating school head at nakadepende din po siya sa dami ng bata o sa dami ng learner na mayroon yung school. So we cannot dictate. Ideally po, 1:500. Yan po ang ratio. However, we understand na since wala naman pong face-to-face, baka po mas malaki yung kayang i-cater, no? Hopefully, hindi lang ganun karami yung kailangang mabigyan ng intervention or yung mga ilangan ng intervention, no? Kasi yun po ay ibig sabihin, marami din po silang kailangang i-refer sa ating mga partner agencies kung sakasakali po. Now, we also have the class advisor who shall serve as the homeroom guidance implementer in the class. So specifically, the class advisor shall ensure the following. Letter A, distribution, facilitation, and retrieval of homeroom guidance, SLMs, and outputs in different learning modalities. So if ever po na ang ginagamit po ay messenger, definitely hindi po tayo magko-collect ng mga hard copy o ng mga modules from our learners. Naka-tailor fit din po siya sa kung ano yung learning modality as I mentioned earlier, no? And then evaluation and discussion of learners' development assessment results to the learners and parents quarterly. Ito yung kaninang binanggit na PTC. Ayan, during parents-teacher conference, hindi lamang po kung saan siya mahina na subject ang pag-uusapan o kung ano yung mga modules na hindi niya na isasubmit, maaari ding ipakita ng ating mga advisors na ito na po yung status niya in relation sa ating mga life skills na dine-develop, no? And then accomplishment of SF9 and SF10 in accordance to the learner's development assessment results. Referral of learner to the guidance counselor only if counseling intervention or other guidance services are needed. And collaboration with co-teachers and parents in developing the competencies of the learners at home, no? So dito po sa ating referral of learners, if there is a need, ayan, usually kapag ka naka-NI siya o kaya naka-NO siya, mamaya malalaman ninyo kung ano yung ibig sabihin ko doon sa NI at NO, meron po tayong kaakibat na counseling and referral system for school year 2021-2022. So yun po yung gagamitin naman ating protocol kung sakasakali pong magre-refer ang ating mga class advisors or ang ating mga guidance counselors sa ating iba pang mga mental health or other institutions na makakatulong dun sa pangangailangan ng mga bata. So kailangan po ng strong collaboration with our parents and teachers in developing the competencies of learners at home, lalong-lalo na ngayon po. So hindi po nasa kamay lamang ng advisor ang tagumpay nito. Kaya napakahirap siguro na iaasa lang din natin sa lahat ng class advisors na i-observe ito. Maaari kasing sa mga activities, makita natin doon sa mga way ng pag-answer nila o doon sa pagsagot nila ng mga tanong, doon sa ating mga activities, maganda, pero makikita ninyo, hindi naman nakikipag-communicate sa magulang. So isa din yun sa mga kailangang bigyang pansin. Ano? Kasi ang target nga natin, magkaroon, kaya nga po siya homeroom guidance. No? Magkaroon talaga ng venue para mapag-usapan yung iba't ibang aspect ng sarili at ng pakikipagkapwa niya sa pamamagitan ng homeroom guidance SLMs. And then, in our schools division office, we have the curriculum implementation division through the ESP supervisor in coordination with school governance and operations division or SGOD through its designated guidance and counseling focal person, serves as the division program manager of the homeroom guidance and coordinates with the guidance counselor or guidance designate of schools. Specifically, schools division program managers shall ensure the following. Okay, letter A, para po ito sa ating mga ESP supervisors under the curriculum implementation division. You are in charge of localizing and indigenizing the content and pedagogy. So ano yung ibig sabihin yan? We are open for the translation of SLMs to mother tongue, creation of instructional videos, radio-based instruction, and other blended learning materials. No? And then 8.2, conduct orientation to the school program managers. Sino po sila? The school head, guidance counselors or designates, and class advisors on HG curriculum. So when we say HG curriculum these days, ito po yung ating most essential learning competencies as well as the guidelines. Ito naman po yung DM-OUCI natin 2021. Ayan, yung ngayon pong dinidiscuss ko. And then conduct monitoring of homeroom guidance. So that includes checking of schools class program, teachers loading, schools monitoring plan, and the schools implementation or observation. And then consolidate and submit the annual division accomplishment report on homeroom guidance implementation. Yan. So magtutulungan po sila ng School Governance and Operations Division or the SGOD through the Division Guidance Counselor or Designate. So dun sa Designate po natin, we prefer na registered guidance counselor po. Why? Because their task is to provide technical assistance in the conduct of homeroom guidance program and conduct capacity building to school guidance counselors or designates and class advisors in coordination with the division ESP supervisor. What if wala pong guidance designate sa SGOD? Nangyayari naman po yan. What will happen? Yun bang technical assistance hindi naman ibibigay? No. Definitely, the SGOD or the person in charge of the guidance services, kung sakasakali po na makakapag-designate, ang maaari naman niyang maibigay na technical assistance ay through other institutions, no? Pwede po kasi yung technical assistance ay direct or indirect, no? Depende po sa pangangailangan ng ating mga schools, no? Kasi maaaring ang kailangan nila paano halimbawa mas mai-intensify o kaya magkakaroon ng knowledge and skills pagdating dito sa guidance services. Tapos hindi sila yung mismong guidance counselor or hindi sila licensed. Anong gagawin nila? They can invite resource persons or facilitators para dito sa ganitong mga activities. Or pagdating sa capacity building, they can provide venue. Okay, venue kung saan magkakaroon pa rin ng mga invitations sa iba pang mga experts na makakapagbigay ng mas kalinawan pagdating doon sa topic, halimbawa, ng guidance services. So yun po yung kailangan na makita na function ng ating SGOD, no, ng Division Guidance Counselor or Designate, or in some areas, baka PDO4 sila, or baka maaring SEPs din po sila. So, pwede po yung ganun. Hindi naman po siya nakakulong lamang doon kumbaga doon sa plantilla position, no? Ang importante, may tao po na makakausap in relation dito sa capacity building. Okay? And then in the regional office, the Curriculum and Learning Management Division, or the CLMD, ESP supervisor in coordination with Education Support Services Division, through its designated guidance and counseling focal person, serves as the program manager in the region. So letter A, para sa ating mga regional ESP supervisors, they are in charge of conducting orientation of division program managers. Yan naman po yung ating SDS, ASDS, Division ESP Supervisors, Division Guidance Counselor or Designate, PSDS, and school heads. And then 8.2, monitor the conduct of homeroom guidance. And then 8.3, consolidate and submit the regional accomplishment report on HG implementation. Also, kailangan po ng support ng Education Support Services Division or the ESSD through the Regional Guidance Counselor or Designate. Again, kung wala pong Regional Guidance Counselor or Designate, maaari pong ilapit pa rin yan sa ESSD, provided na yung focal person po na ilalagay natin ay makakapaghatid ng direct or indirect technical assistance in the conduct of homeroom guidance and in the conduct of capacity building to division program managers in coordination with regional ESP supervisor. No? So maaring sila din po yung in charge sa mga partnerships, pwede din po in charge po sila sa quality assurance, yan po. So maaring ganun po yung magiging forma nito. In relation to this, kagaya rin po nung technical assistance na binanggit ko kanina sa division level, maaari din kasi yung technical assistance na yun ay ihingi nila o kaya i-connect nila yung mga division supervisors or division program implementers or school implementers also doon sa mga proper authority in relation doon sa concern para sa capacity building ng mga division program managers. How about the central office, no? So the Bureau of Curriculum Development, BCD, serves as the program manager in the central office. So the focal person ensures the correct curriculum articulation and consolidates annual report on the conduct of homeroom guidance. So last month, tayo po ay nagkaroon ng evaluation about the homeroom guidance implementation for school year 2020-2021. Kaya nagkaroon po tayo ng move dito sa pagkakaroon ng mga provisions or specific provisions in relation sa ating implementation for 2021-2022. So yun po yung isa sa mga produkto ng ating evaluation at ng annual report na isinabmit din ng ating mga regional supervisors or our regional implementers. And then the Bureau of Learning Delivery ensures that appropriate pedagogical approaches employed on how to deliver the curriculum content, no? And then the Bureau of Learning Resources source the availability of learning resources to the field units, no? Ayan. So in the section 6, ayan, meron po tayong assessment of learners' development and monitoring of the program. So though the intent of homeroom guidance is to help learners develop competencies that will aid them in facing different issues and tasks, it is important to still track their level of development, no? So hindi po siya graded. Homeroom guidance implementers must always keep in mind that the program should capacitate learners towards success. Hence, compared to the formal learning area that are being measured following the DO number 8 series of 2015, homeroom guidance shall utilize learners' development assessment tool, which can be found in Annex 5, guided by the verbal descriptions below. Okay? So dito sa ating bagong DM on homeroom guidance, we included NO, or the no chance to observe. What does this mean? The learner did not submit outputs or has not shown any of the target competency in a particular quarter, no? So para lang po sa kaalaman ng lahat, meron po tayong no chance to observe na option, no? Kasi maaaring hindi talaga, kagaya rin po ng ibang mga academic subjects, no? Maaaring may mga bata na hindi talaga nagsasubmit ng output. So, para fair din naman, hindi lamang po lahat kakailanganin basta ng intervention, we also include here the no chance to observe. So, definitely, kung hindi naman nagsasubmit ng output, alam din natin na wala tayong means para i-observe yung target competency natin in a particular quarter. And then needs improvement, or the NI. So the learner accomplished and submitted 30% of the output in a particular quarter or has not acquired the target competencies, no? So say for example, we have 10 modules, example lamang po, at naisubmit lamang niya ay 3. So definitely, meron po siyang kailangan gawin pa na 7, at makikita natin doon, nagpo-fall siya under the NI or the needs improvement, no? So what if nag-submit siya, say for example, nag-submit siya ng 7, pero kung tutuusin po, kung number lang ang pagbabasihan natin, nag-submit ng 7 pero hindi tapos yung 4, no? So ang basis talaga natin for this is yung tapos na output. Lahat po ng questions at activities dun sa module ay nagawa niya, no? And then, for the developing, D, the learner accomplished and submitted 60% of the output in a particular quarter or has acquired some of the target competency. Sufficiently developed, SD, the learner accomplished and submitted 90% of the output in a particular quarter or has acquired the target competency. And then developed and commendable, DC, the learner accomplished and submitted 100% of the output in a particular quarter and has acquired the target competency and showed commendable application in real-life situations, no? So ganun po siya. Hindi po natin siya isuscore. Wala rin pong tama o mali kasi depende po yan sa kanilang responses, no? Sa ating mga SLMs, sa kanilang output. Makikita din naman kasi yung quality din ng output kung magbabasa din yung teacher. So definitely, makikita din niya kung sino yung nangangailangan din ng further help or ng intervention, no? magiging critical ito, lalong-lalo na kapag may mga question about personal life experiences. Mapapansin ninyo may mga pattern yung sagot ng mga bata. Mayroong makikita ninyo na napakabibigat, baka parents na po ang sumagot niyan. So we really need to inform the parents na hindi naman sila yung nag-aaral ng life skills na yon. Definitely they have it, no? Assuming that they have it. So they should let their children learn it, no? At kailangan lang yung assistance nila, hindi sila, dahil hindi naman tayo nakabase lang doon sa completion at sa galing ng mga sagot ng mga bata. Pero tinitingnan natin kung paano siya nag-analyze, kung paano niya tinitingnan yung mga examples doon, paano niya yun ina-apply sa kanyang buhay. Kasi makikita din yun. We accept ano man yung sagot niya. Tagalog ba yan? English ba yan? No? We accept that. No? Siguro ang magiging mahirap lang yung pag-gauge kung sino talaga yung sumagot. No? Pero as far as we're concerned, if the parents are properly oriented in relation sa homeroom guidance, I think they will understand, no? Kung paano ano yung role nila doon sa homeroom guidance. Hindi sila yung sasagot ng mga modules natin. So the learner's development shall be assessed through their portfolio and performance tasks, no? So for this year, medyo limited tayo doon sa output nila na manggagaling sa ating mga self-learning modules. And then conduct of homeroom guidance is mandatory, but this is not part of academic rating. No? Hindi natin nire-rate, hindi natin siya ginigrade dahil marami na siyang alam na life skills. Hindi ganon, no? At hindi rin siya pagandahan nga ng sagot. So grades are just descriptive. Dinedescribe mo lang paano ba yung batang ito. So needs improvement description shall not be treated as failed, but shall indicate the need for intervention from school and home. So in the event that the learner remains at the needs improvement at the end of each quarter, the advisor, guidance counselor, and parents need to work together to provide intervention. Disciplinary cases of learners must not affect their HG grades. No? Maaari kasing mangyari, nagsasubmit siya sa homeroom guidance, pero pagdating sa kanyang mga ibang subjects, hindi siya nagsasubmit. So maaring may implication yun, ba't kaya hindi siya nagsasubmit dun sa ibang subjects, pero sa homeroom guidance, nakakasubmit siya. Meron din naman nakakasubmit sa ibang subject, pero dahil nakikita ng bata or ang kanyang impression, less important ang homeroom guidance, kaya hindi na lang siya magsasubmit. So tandaan natin na ito ay parte ng ating curriculum, no? At hindi man siya graded, ito ay magandang tungtungan din natin kung paano sila matutulungan at kung paano ma-assist pa yung ating mga learners. So kung may NI or may needs improvement, yun yung mga sa palagay natin na magsasabi sa atin na ito yung mga may pangangailangan ng tulong, no? So the homeroom guidance grades must be reflected in the SF9 and SF10 using the following descriptions. So no chance to observe, NO, same pa rin yung kanina, and then needs improvement or NI, developing D, sufficiently developed SD, and developed and commendable DC. No? So the details of the learner's development assessment results shall be attached to the said forms. There is no need to put equivalent ratings or computations for each description, no? Kasi in every quarter, iba-iba naman po yung learning competencies o yung ating mga life skills na dinedevelop. So say for example, if it's quarter 1, nakakuha yung bata ng sufficiently developed. And then quarter 2, nakakuha po siya ng D. So what will happen pagdating sa quarter 3, hindi po natin siya madedetect. Hindi po siya ganun. Hindi natin siya i-compute or i-average towards the end, no? Iba-iba po siya kasi iba-iba din yung mini-measure natin or yung tinitingnan natin pagkatuto niya ng mga life skills. Maaring quarter 1 NI siya, pagdating ng quarter 2 sufficiently developed, maaring pagdating ng quarter 3 no chance to observe, no? So ano yung mga makikita nyo doon ano yung nangyari din sa kanya. And then quarter 4, biglang naging sufficiently developed ulit. So hindi nyo siya i-average, as is po siya, at hindi po siya dependent doon sa grade sa quarter, sa first or second quarter, no? Hindi po siya halimbawang ma-detect natin na yung first quarter, bibigyan ko muna siya ng developing. Second quarter, SD. Third quarter, bibigyan ko ulit siya ng developing. Fourth quarter, bibigyan ko ulit siya ng SD. Hindi po siya ganon. Or baka meron na namang magsabi na, wag mo munang bigyan ng SD kasi first quarter pa lang. Wala pong ganon. Naka-base po tayo sa kung ano yung competency na dinedevelop at iba-iba po yan per quarter. No? So yun po yung isa sa mga dapat maging clear sa ating lahat. Hindi po dependent yung per quarter grade nila. So halimbawang mag-NI siya ng first quarter at biglang maging developed and commendable ng second quarter, ang meaning lang po nun, yung needs improvement niya, kailangan pong i-address yung mga life skills na nasa quarter 1 at yung nasa quarter 2, developed and commendable, nagkataon na yung mga life skills na yon ay talagang present na at naisasagawa na nung bata sa kanyang buhay. No? Maari kasing ganun po yung mangyari. Okay? And then, monitoring and evaluation. So the success and sustainability of the program will only be ensured if there is a systematic and adequate monitoring and evaluation. So monitoring and evaluation shall be done from September 2021 to July 2022 or as scheduled by the department. So reports on the results of the monitoring and evaluation shall be submitted at the end of school year 2021-2022. The following are the offices and units directly involved in the implementation and monitoring of this program. So sa school level po, we have our school head who leads the monitoring in coordination with the guidance counselor or guidance designate using the Homeroom Guidance School Observation Tool. This is actually a new tool, and Homeroom Guidance School Implementation Tool, see Annex 1 and 2. No? Mamaya, i-describe ko siya ng mas kumpleto. And then, schools division level. So, sa schools division, ang in charge po sa ating monitoring and evaluation is our Edukasyon sa Pagpapakatao ESP Supervisor under the Curriculum Implementation Division in coordination with the Guidance Counselor or Designate in the Division Office, leads the monitoring using the Homeroom Guidance Division Monitoring and Evaluation Tool. That's our Annex C. Division monitoring results shall be submitted to the Regional ESP Supervisor. And then the regional level, the ESP Supervisor under the CLMD, in coordination with the ESSD Focal Person for Guidance and Counseling, leads the monitoring in the regional level, focusing on the entire implementation of the Homeroom Guidance. So they shall submit the Homeroom Guidance Regional Monitoring and Evaluation Tool, see Annex 4, to the Bureau of Curriculum Development on or before July 12 of 2022. So baka po maiba pa yan, depende sa ating sitwasyon, and we will just keep you posted through an advisory in relation po doon sa mga changes sa ating submissions. In the national level, the Bureau of Curriculum Development leads the overall monitoring and evaluation of Homeroom Guidance. So the Bureau representative shall consolidate the Homeroom Guidance regional monitoring and evaluation reports and coordinate the result to other bureaus of the central office, that which may serve as reference for future enhancements of the program and related policies. Effectivity, so this shall take effect in school year 2021-2022 and succeeding years immediately upon publication in the DepEd website. Okay, so that's it for our procedure. We will have a short break before we continue to the discussion of the annexes. No? So thank you very much for listening. If you have some questions, we will address the questions after the discussion of the annexes. Thank you very much.
So there were a few revisions made to our homeroom guidance program for the betterment of its implementation. We hope that everyone was able to follow. I believe we all need a short health break, as what the program says. So we'll be right back after a few minutes to get ready for another scope of discussion. See you later.
Ating tanawin, bagong pag-asa.
juncture, let us listen intently to the discussion of Annexes 1 to 5 of our Homeroom Guidance Program, which contain the homeroom observation, assessment, and evaluation forms.
Okay, so we are now back, ayan, sa ating orientation, and we are going to continue with the discussion of the annexes 1 to 5 of the DM OUCI 2021. Yan, natin on homeroom guidance. So we have 5 annexes. Annex 1 is the homeroom guidance class observation tool. And then Annex 2 is our homeroom guidance implementation tool, the school level. Annex 3 is the homeroom guidance division monitoring and evaluation tool, that's division level. Annex 4, homeroom guidance regional monitoring and evaluation tool. And Annex 5 is our homeroom guidance learners development assessment tool. So, kagaya nung kaninang binanggit ko, iba-iba siya, no? Iba-iba yung ating mga annexes at design po siya sa bawat level of governance, no? So, sa Annex 1, school head supervises and monitors the implementation of homeroom guidance and ensures that proper intervention for each learner will be provided. So specifically, the school head shall ensure the following: preparing and conducting of homeroom guidance class observation and submitting the homeroom guidance school implementation report. Ano ba yung itsura ng ating Annex 1? Kung hawak ninyo yung ating DM, yan, makikita ninyo that we have the homeroom guidance class observation tool. Yan po siya. 2 pages po siya. Okay. So ito yung mas bigger version niya. So we need to include anong grading siya na observe, yung ating class observation, and then the school year, that's 2021-2022. Then we include also the name of advisor, and then the date or time, kung kailan siya in-observe, and then the grade level or section. So to the observer, so we have to check the box to indicate your assessment guided by the scale below. So 0 is no chance to observe, 1 is not observed, 2 observed but insufficient, 3 sufficiently observed, and 4 sufficiently observed and commendable, no? So bago tayo pumunta doon sa ibang parts ng ating class observation tool, maaaring tanungin nyo, ilang beses ba nag-o-observe yung class, no? Ilang beses i-observe ang isang klase. So our target naman po ay doon lang tayo sa makatotohanan, ano? Definitely, hindi naman po natin magagawa ito quarterly, no? Lalong-lalo doon sa limitations natin ngayon. So our target is at least merong isang observation for each advisor just to ensure, no? Just to ensure na sila po ay maayos yung pag-conduct ng program at hindi naman po ito para, kumbaga, hindi po siya i-grade mismo yung class advisor. Hindi po ito katulad nun sa ibang subject area. Ang tinitingnan po dito ay paano mas mapapabuti pa natin yung implementation ng homeroom guidance sa loob ng classroom or depende dun sa learning modality. So magba-vary din ito, no? Makikita nyo, in some of the items, maaring no chance to observe kasi hindi applicable yung learning modality kung saan kino-conduct yung homeroom guidance or ini-implement yung homeroom guidance, and that is understandable, no? So ano-ano yung mga dapat tignan? So the teacher makes sure that the learning modality is conducive for learning and activities, effectively organizes learning situations to meet the objectives of the class presentation, uses instructional methods that encourage relevant learner participation in the learning process, implements the module in accordance to the guidelines, communicates clearly and effectively to the level of learners, explains important ideas in a clear and practical way, demonstrates command of the topic discussed, responds appropriately to learner questions and comments, provides time and direction for individual thought prior to group discussions, if applicable, and then prepares or checks, distributes efficiently the materials for activities, adequately prepares learners to undertake the specific activity, and provides learners adequate time to reflect on the activity utilizing a variety of process skills. So demonstrate, predict, analyze, conclude, synthesize, etc. So yung pong items dyan na makikita natin ay nakadepende rin sa kung ano yung learning modality. Kung ang limitation ay yung mismong learning modality, it's okay to just put 0 or not observed, no? Hindi naman po natin siya ipipilit na yun yung dapat gawin. It's just that we need to take note na sa ganitong learning modality pala, halimbawa, if you are using Messenger to distribute or to implement or conduct the homeroom guidance SLM, at yun lamang ang meron o available sa bata, definitely that will not be taken against the teacher, no? And then, attends to learners' concerns in different modalities. I think possible naman siya. And then provides individual attention when appropriate. So like non-submission or non-compliance. Provides minimal yet sufficient information to successfully complete their task. Provides adequate feedback, reflection, encouragement on individual or group efforts and progress. Encourages learners to appropriately use tools, ideas, methods, or ways of knowing to accomplish the activity and or solve the problem. Relates the lesson to learners' daily life experiences, encourages the learners to apply their realizations on the lesson, and maintains safety procedures in facilitating learning tasks. So paano ba siya kino-compute, no? Yung rating niya is the total score. So i-add nyo lang, say for example, dun sa scoring nito, may mga 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I-add lamang natin siya. And then, number of items with 1 to 4 scores. Yun lang ang titingnan natin. Kapag halimbawang 0, ibig sabihin not observed or it is not really an applicable item for the observation. Tsaka natin siya i-multiply sa 4 times 100%. So dito sa verbal description, if the teacher gets 69 to 91%, so that is above average, or if it's 92 to 100%, that's outstanding. Based dun sa observation natin, hindi naman tayo nagkaroon ng below average, lalong-lalo na kung familiar yung ating mga teachers kung paano siya i-fill out at kung paano siya i-compute, no? Karamihan naman doon sa ating mga items ay possible sa mga iba't ibang learning modalities. So dito, makikita natin, based din dun sa experience natin last year, karamihan naman, nagre-range lamang yung kanilang scores o yung kanilang rating from average to outstanding. And hindi naman siya yung performance lamang ng teacher, but the program itself, doon lang din nagre-range yung facilitation niya from average to outstanding. Though may area tayo na may mga needs improvement, pero ilan lamang. At na-address naman natin yon by naming or checking on the gaps na pwede na natin mai-address for this particular school year. And then, we can also give our commendations. Ayan, kasi dito din magkagaling yung best practices in relation sa ating homeroom guidance implementation sa klase, no? Sa commendations, or if we need to really look into, halimbawa, you can give them recommendations on how they can improve the implementation, no? So, makikita rin dyan that this evaluation, meron pong phrase dyan, this evaluation was shown and then discussed to me. So, advisor signature over printed name and then the date, no? Ito po ba ang ating homeroom guidance class observation tool ay equivalent na or maaari nang isubmit ng teacher as her observation for that particular or for school year 2020-2021? Hindi po, no? Again, ang tinitingnan po natin dito is the implementation of homeroom guidance and not just the performance of the teacher, no? So magsistick pa rin tayo doon sa kung ano yung ino-observe ng ating mga school heads, at ng ating mga subject heads, no? In relation dun sa subject area na itinuturo natin. Iba po itong sa homeroom guidance. So ilang beses po sa isang taon, ideally kahit isa lang, okay lang po yun. No? Just to ensure na tayong lahat ay namomonitor na nag-i-implement ng maayos na homeroom guidance program. Hindi lamang tayo basta nag-distribute at nagre-retrieve. Meron din tayong ginagawa doon sa process o doon sa journey na meron yung ating mga learners. And then in our Annex 2, the school head supervises and monitors the implementation of homeroom guidance and ensures that proper intervention for each learner will be provided. Specifically, the school head shall ensure, ayan, definitely, the school head shall ensure the monitoring of the implementation, no? So here, makikita natin, ito naman yung kabuuan. So makikita natin from the individual classes, meron tayong school level implementation tool or the implementation report that has to be submitted to our division supervisors. So ito po siya, name of school and then the division and region, name of school head, and then the date of reporting. So ano yung bago dito? We need to look into the total number of classes for school year 2021-2022. Total number of classes that implemented homeroom guidance program. Ito po yung nawala sa unang taon ng implementation. Hindi po natin nakuha yung demographics niya o yung bilang, no? Kasi maaring masabi lang 80%, pero ano po yung baseline, no? Ano yung N, ano yung baseline natin? So gusto natin makita ngayon, ilang klase ba yung mayroon doon sa school na yon at ilan yung nag-implement ng homeroom guidance program. Kung hindi nag-implement, ano yung possible reason bakit hindi nag-implement, no? And then makikita natin dito, ang gagawin lang naman, i-check lang yung box that corresponds to your answer in each item using the legend below. So ano yung legend natin? Pagka evident, let us E, 95 to 100% of the total number of classes complied. And then EI, evident but inadequate, 50% to 94% of the total number of classes complied. So NE, or not evident, less than 50% of the total number of classes complied. And then NA, or not applicable, the area is not applicable or it is not possible to comply. So we also understand that there will be some areas or locations na maaring mahihirapan ang implementation ng homeroom guidance, and we would like to know that, no, through the school implementation report or the homeroom guidance school implementation tool. So what are the items under this, no? So ano yung mga kailangan i-monitor? We have 5 areas to monitor. So we have first, the curriculum implementation compliance. So ano yung under niyan? The homeroom guidance milks is being followed properly. By the way, the homeroom guidance milks, kasama po siya doon sa ating i-distribute sa beginning ng school year 2020-2021, kasama ng other subjects. So kung magtatanong kayo, nasaan na ba itong milks ng homeroom guidance, kasama rin po siya doon. So paano mo makikita yung HG milks? So dapat, ano yung mga evidences natin through the class schedule and learners output or portfolio. Lahat ba yan isasubmit? Sample lang po. Kapag nakita na ng ating mga school head na meron naman, halimbawa, iyang klase na yan, ilan yung na-observe niya, ilan yung nakapag-present ng class schedule at learners output, no? Evident naman po yan. And then, i-check lang niya under ng E, no? And then, objectives of the program are achieved at the end of the school year. So, makikita po yan sa learners output and minutes of meeting of advisors per grade level with guidance counselor or designate regarding homeroom guidance impact on learners. So ito medyo mahirap siyang i-measure, no? Pero we are trying our best dun sa pag-capture niya sa pamamagitan ng paano na-comply, ano yung kalidad ng kinomply, at ano yung mga pamamaraan na isinagawa para ma-achieve yung objective na yon, no? Kasi definitely kung wala namang efforts na ibinigay yung ating mga guidance counselor or designates, hindi naman talaga nagbigay ng proper orientation, then hindi natin naasahan na ma-meet natin yung objectives ng program, no? So doon pa lang makikita natin yung mga ano yung mga evidences na yan, yung minutes, kung walang minutes, ano yung mga sample programs natin or ano yung ginawa natin for the whole duration of school year 2020, 2021, 2022 in order for us to achieve the objectives of the program. Okay, and then delivery process, we have 3 items. Homeroom guidance classes are programmed for the whole school year. So madali din yan mag-gauge. Saan yan makikita? Sa class program at sa teacher's loading. And then learners and parents are acquainted with the competencies that they need to master per domain in each quarter. So ano yung evidence? Letter to parents prepared by advisor regarding the competencies for the quarter. Or kahit yung mga evidences lang na nagkaroon talaga ng parents-teacher conference, no? And then class advisors are being monitored as they implement the HG. So the results of monitoring tool and post-conference of guidance counselor or designate with advisors. Dito po, in case-to-case naman po ito, no? What if talagang limited or wala talagang means, then lagay lang natin na not applicable if there will be some concerns sa specific area, no? And then the third item is the assessment of learners' development. So learners are oriented on the learning objectives and how their development will be assessed, no? So ito yung nawala doon sa first implementation. Hindi naging clear sa ating mga learners kung ano yung halaga ng homeroom guidance. Kaya tinake lang nila for granted. Akala nila it's just an additional SLM on top of all the SLMs ng ibang subjects. No. So paano natin yan mabibigyan ng pagpapahalaga through the documentation of learners' orientation about the learning objectives and evaluation of their development. And then number 2, assessment of results are explained to the learners, leading to their realization of the areas for improvement. So ano po yan? Anong evidence niya? Documentation of conference with the learners about their development. Ilan? Samples lamang po ang tinitingnan natin o ang hinahanap natin dito. And then learners, number 3, can keep track of their progress in the program. So that is through the learners' development assessment with remarks of advisor and parents. And then the fourth item is the supervision of homeroom guidance implementation. So ano yung mga tinitingnan natin dito? A clear monitoring plan. So guidance counselor or designate and school head before the start of the program is evident. So ano yung evidence? Monitoring plans of school head and guidance counselor or designate. Then number 2, monitoring plan is properly implemented. So documentation of the actual monitoring results. Third, monitoring results are discussed with the concerned personnel so as to encourage actions needed to improve the program delivery. So ano yan? Planning minutes of the meeting with the concerned personnel and the accomplished HG monitoring tool, the school level. No? Kanina yung pinakita ko yung last part. Nakalagay doon na na-discuss sa inyo yung observation. No? And then monitoring results are utilized to improve the program delivery. So matrix of monitoring results and actions taken. And then proper coordination, planning, and corrective feedback system are being enforced. So again, yung minutes of the meeting and post-conference documentation. Pero kung wala po niyan, that's okay. That's okay. Hanap po tayo ng ibang proper evidences to prove na ito po ay na-coordinate. So pwede po yung communication or pwede din man siyang letter or other means, no, na magpapatunay na ito po ay nagawa naman natin. And then capacity building for homeroom guidance is being conducted. So documentation of teachers and personnel training with the attached utilized budget and recorded training. So yun po yung mga area na titingnan natin in relation sa supervision of homeroom guidance implementation. So what if, ayan, kasi alam naman natin na sa bawat school, isa lang naman talaga yung school head. Pwede ba siyang mag-designate para sa monitoring? Yes, the principal or the school head can designate. So pagdating sa observation, itong mga ito, maaari po niya yung i-assign sa ating mga guidance counselors or the guidance advocate or the guidance designate rather. And then administrative concerns. We have 7 items. Orientation for learners and their parents is conducted by the school before the start of school year. Ayan, kaya nakalagay din po siya doon sa ating orientation program. So ano yung mga kailangan nating evidences dyan? Yung documentation of learners and parents orientation. An adequate budget is allotted for homeroom guidance expenses. So approved budget versus financial report of HG. So materials, training expenses, etc. And then materials and relevant supplies. So online or printed learning materials are available for the learners and teachers of HG. So you need to have an inventory of supplies and materials versus reports of utilization. And then the learning modality is appropriate and conducive for the conduct of the program. So the number of learners in each learning modality will do, no? Or the sample, pwede din pong ilagay yan dyan. And then duties and responsibilities of personnel are clearly defined. So documentation of orientation for the personnel and teachers. Correct reports are submitted. So year-end report by the school. And then issues and concerns based on the reports are acted upon. So matrix of issues and concerns from the reports and actions taken. So who signs this? The guidance counselor or the designate. Signature over printed name, and then the date they accomplished it, and then the school head, the last person to sign, no? So yan po yung parang pinaka summary ng report doon sa school implementation ng ating homeroom guidance program. Now, moving forward. Okay. Annex 3. So the Edukasyon sa Pagpapakatao Supervisor under the Curriculum Implementation Division in coordination with the guidance counselor or designate in the division office leads the monitoring using the Homeroom Guidance Division Monitoring and Evaluation Tool or the Annex 3. Ayan. So division monitoring results shall be submitted to the regional supervisor. So ito naman siya. Medyo mas mahaba yung nandoon sa ating division level kasi kinukuha niya yung kabuuan o yung reports ng buong school o ng lahat ng school within the division, no? So nakalagay dyan, division, region, and then the school's division superintendent, the date of submission, the CID supervisor or the ESP supervisor, and the SGOD guidance counselor or guidance designate. Okay? So ano yung nakalagay dito sa demographics? Ano yung mga kailangan natin na data? Total number of schools in the division. So from elementary po yan, the senior high school. And then total number of schools that implemented the homeroom guidance program. Total number of schools monitored and evaluated. No? And then total number of schools that did not implement the homeroom guidance program. We need or you need to state the reason or justification for non-implementation. No? Kailangan lang po reported natin siya para if in case malaman natin yung concern pagdating doon sa ating report, makita natin kung paano din i-address yon. Not necessarily to give sanctions or anything, pero paano makakatulong pa or paano pa natin mai-improve yung ating homeroom guidance program. No? So same po halos, ayan, same halos yung ating mga items. Ayan, yung una, tinitingnan yung curriculum implementation and compliance, and then the delivery process, and then the assessment of learners' development, supervision of homeroom guidance implementation, and then administrative concerns. Ayan. So same lang din po how you're going to grade it. So parang talagang consolidation lang siya nung lahat ng schools, no? So in our case, sa division level, maaring para hindi din masyadong malaki yung bilang, maari kasing ang ilagay din ninyo yung ganitong report or ganitong format per halimbawa from kindergarten to grade 6, and then junior high school, and then senior high school. It's up to you, no? Basta makita lang natin kung ano yung total at kung ilan yung kumbaga yung percentage na tinitingnan natin in relation dun sa mga evidences, no? So ang rule of the thumb lang naman, if you cannot provide the evidence, pero ginawa naman, then you can give us or you can submit kung ano yung mga alternate, no? Kasi dun sa mga alternate na yan, ng mga evidences, maaaring magkaroon din tayo ng idea na possible naman talaga na makapagbigay sila ng report in relation to this at ito yung proof. So by the time na gagawin na natin itong DepEd order or magiging halimbawa, depende pa rin sa sitwasyon natin by next year, maisama natin yon doon sa mga suggestions and recommendations, no? So dito rin makikita natin ano yung how the division fared pagdating sa ating implementation, no? Mamaya makikita ninyo ano yung function naman nito nung ganitong summary pagdating sa regional level kasi dito naman sila titingin, no? So again, ito ulit siya. It should be 1 to 5, no? Sorry for that. Typographical error yata siya, no? So the curriculum implementation and compliance, delivery process, evaluation of learners' development, supervision of homeroom guidance implementation, and administrative concerns, no? Ayan. So areas not evident or evident but inadequate. So say for example, sa curriculum guide, adequate naman siya, okay? Or evident naman siya. So ano yung kailangan niyan? Kung present naman, actions to be taken. So ensure that CG will be followed properly. And then the accountable person, usually the school head, no? The school head or the guidance counselor or the guidance designate, no? Dito po sa column ng follow-up, kung kakayanin pa, kasi nga our reporting hindi naman siya quarterly, no? Pero baka may mga glaring tayong concerns or may mga mabigat talaga tayong concerns na need natin i-address at i-follow up, then you can also indicate that dito sa ating summary. Okay. And then who signs it? Ayan. So the school head and then the monitored by. Ayan. And then the designation. Okay, next. ESP supervisor under the CLMD in coordination with ESSP focal person for guidance and counseling leads the monitoring in the regional level, focusing on the entire implementation of the homeroom guidance. So this is now the Annex 4, no? So regional level siya at kailan siya dapat ma-submit on or before July 12, 2022. So sa ating homeroom guidance regional monitoring and evaluation tool, we included here the region, regional director, CLMD supervisor, or the regional guidance and guidance counselor or guidance designate, and then the date of submission. So paano siya? Dito po, iha-harvest na ng ating mga regional supervisors yung pinaka-status ng homeroom guidance implementation based on the reports or the summary given by our division supervisors. And then we are also encouraging everyone to harvest the best practices in each division or in the division, areas for improvement in the division, and then the technical assistance provided, no? So say for example, this is division 1, tapos based on their report, ano yung status of implementation nila? Halimbawa, evident but inadequate, so that's I take 94%. So ang ilalagay lamang po dito ay EI, and then ano yung best practices nila? Definitely they have, no? Ano yung at malalaman yan kapag ang ating mga regional supervisors din kahit papaano ay nagmo-monitor, kasi hindi naman siya malalaman lamang through the reports. Maaring may mga instances na makikita rin natin yan doon sa kung ano yung ginagawa talaga doon sa specific division, no? And then areas for improvement in the division. Halimbawa, may mga makitang areas for improvement, ilagay na lang din natin. And then, ano yung technical assistance na pin-provide doon sa duration ng school year na yan. So here, the signatories will be the ESP Regional Supervisor and then the Regional Director. Okay. Now, let's now have the Annex 5. This is the last annex or the Homeroom Guidance Learners Development Assessment, no? Meron siyang kindergarten, primary level. So primary level is grade 1 to grade 3, and then intermediate level, grade 4 to grade 6, and then junior high school, grade 7 to grade 10, and senior high school, grade 11 and grade 12, no? So in our Homeroom Guidance Learners Development Assessment for kindergarten, we have the following assessment guides or the scale. So we also have the no chance to observe, needs improvement, developing, sufficiently developed, and developed and commendable. Now, so here, kanina, dun sa diniscuss ko during the first part of my talk, nakita na natin na sa bawat quarter ay may iba't ibang set ng life skills or the competencies na dinedevelop, no? So dito, ang magmamatter ay kung paano natin siya based dun sa kanyang submission at sa kanyang the quality of work na ibinigay o isinabit niya. So dito, say for example, if the student was able to submit everything, ayan, kung matatandaan ninyo, kung lahat naman ay naisubmit niya at naisabuhay niya, say for example, the competency value oneself, value others, respect individual differences, and gain understanding of oneself and others. Halimbawa, yung kindergarten na yun ay medyo advanced pagdating dyan. Nakita natin na developed and commendable siya, no? So, yan yung sinasabi natin na ilalagay niya sa halimbawa per row, no? Per row, makikita natin kung lahat 'yon ay nagawa niya na i-submit 100%, yung mga modules in relation dito sa competencies na ito, then we can give that student developed and commendable or the DC, no? And then say for example, second quarter, this set of competencies provide proper steps toward responsible decision making and evaluate experiences and decision making towards achieving common good. Okay? So halimbawa, hindi pa ito na-develop sa kanya or konting may kailangan talaga siyang gawin bukod doon sa hindi pagsasubmit or kakulangan sa submission, baka hindi pa talaga ito na-develop. Maaring NI naman siya dito or needs improvement, no? So depende siya sa kung ano yung magiging output din na mailalagay din sa portfolio, no? And then third quarter, apply effective ways of protecting oneself and others, share skills helpful to solve problems, and describe the chosen field. So tatlo yan, ano? Halimbawa, out of the 3, isa lang yung na-submit niya. So ano yun? So possible is needs improvement siya. Tapos makita pa natin na yung iba talaga ay hindi pa niya kaya, no? So ano yung ilalagay natin sa kanyang card at ano yung ilalagay natin dito? Definitely nandito siya sa NI or sa needs improvement. Pero sabi ko nga kanina, independent siya. Hindi siya nakadepende doon sa kanyang ipinakita ng prior quarters, no? Or the first and second quarter ng school year, no? So yun po yung ating, that's how we actually rate our our learners in relation dito sa ating homeroom guidance. So hindi din siya magsuscores. Pananda lamang natin yan. Si 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So who needs to sign it? The learners assessment tool or the learners development assessment tool. We have the signature or kailangan po dyan yung advisor, yung guidance counselor or designate, and then the school head and the parent or guardian. Okay, this is for grade 1 to 3, primary level. So kung mapapansin ninyo, for grades 1 to grade 3, grade 1 to grade 3 rather, pare-pareho siya ng competency. Yan, makikita natin yan dyan. Saan siya nagkakaiba? Pagdating sa modules, nabanggit din yan kanina, pagdating sa modules, nag-iiba yung level of complexity. Depende sa grade level, no? So say for example, doon sa valuing oneself, iba yung objectives niya kay grade 1, iba kay grade 2, at iba din kay grade 3. Definitely, iba rin yung mga activities, no? Kung mapapansin nyo yan, kung nag-o-observe din kayo, hindi naman ibig sabihin na kung pare-pareho yung competency, magsasawa na siya. Kasi iba-iba yung activities na hihingin sa kanya. Nagpo-progress din siya at nag-expand, depende doon sa age ng bata, no? Ayan, that's the third and fourth quarter. Same manner with the grading ng kindergarten, no? And then same with the people who will sign the learners development assessment. Okay, and then grades 4 to 6, ganun din siya. Magkakaiba na lang yan pagdating sa ating objectives and activities. And then for junior high school, ayan, ang ating junior high school. Wala pa rin po siyang computation, ha? Let's take note of that. Okay. And then for the senior high school. Okay. So that ends my presentation in relation to Annex 1 to 5 of our homeroom guidance for school year 2021-2022. So we are now open to address your questions and clarifications regarding this presentation. So again, maraming salamat po and have a great day.
Should you have queries or any other concerns about the discussions a while ago, now is the time to ask them. Our guidance counselors, assistant principals, and principal are so much willing to respond to those. Ma'am and sir? and responses. It is certain that everyone was enlightened with the questions raised. Now, to come to the end of the program, let us all welcome our Assistant Principal for Operations and Learner Support, Ma'am Lynn R. Prilles.
Okay, so there you have it, our dear teachers, the online orientation on revised implementation of the homeroom guidance during crisis situation for school year 2021-2022. To our Public Schools District Supervisor, Sir Mike Del Rosario, our Principal, Sir Jojo, the Assistant Principals, Ma'am Gems and Ma'am May, to all the department heads, our teaching and non-teaching personnel, a pleasant afternoon, everyone. From what we learned, the Homeroom Guidance Program was implemented in support of the goal of the Department of Education to produce holistically developed learners who understand themselves, possess problem-solving skills, make informed decisions, achieve academic success, and plans for their future, and also respect individual differences, and many more. This virtual orientation reviewed and updated us on the implementation of homeroom guidance for school year 2021-2022 and addresses issues and concerns from our experience during the previous school year 2020-2021, and also made us identify good practices to facilitate efficient and effective implementation of the homeroom guidance. At this point, may I extend my warmest gratitude to the Guidance and Counseling Group headed by Ms. Cathy Olaes, with Ma'am Mercy, Ma'am Ava, and Ma'am Bambi for the senior high school group, Ma'am Lil, Ma'am Lori, and Ma'am Hannah for the junior high school for making this activity possible. Of course, airing this program for your consumption will be possible with the help of our hardworking ICTSS team headed by Mr. Juntado, with Mr. Pacunsa, Mr. Galvez, Mr. Dumlao, and the newly added beauty and techie personnel, Ma'am Tin Montas, and of course, the rest of the ICTSS team. In closing, Secretary Robredo once said, "Most proficiencies can be learned, but what's inside you is something that is difficult to change." Yes, our attitude indeed is difficult to change, but it can be changed if we have that will and guiding force to change it. Yes, attitude can make a lot of difference. A pleasant afternoon once again, and God bless everyone.
Cut.
Ma'am Lynn, for those warm messages. Our hearts are always full whenever you speak. And to you, ma'am and sir, thank you so much for being with us today. Tiring as it seems, but if it's for the benefit of our dearest learners, it magically fades away, right? We hope that you were able to absorb all the important things about the fresh updates regarding our homeroom guidance module and the homeroom guidance program as a whole. Once again, this is Ms. Lara Pigadoy, your moderator for today. Have a great day. God bless you. Goodbye.
matigil ni numan. Maaabot lahat, lahat ng iyong inaasam. Kasipagan ng sagot, salat ka man sa kayamanan. Buksan ng pahina ng mga aklat ng karunungan. Edukasyon ating kailangan, kamamangan ating iwanan.